All right, guys, we got a 2003 Lexus ES300 here. Let me just move my camera up. There it is. We got brake pads, original, part number if you guys need. There it is. Part number for the rotor, same thing, right and left. So these brakes are done, so we're gonna remove these brake pads and rotors, and it's a very simple job. Okay, let's have our camera right here. I'm gonna remove my light and put it somewhere else so we can get a better angle. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this 17 millimeter, and we're gonna flip up the caliper and slide the upper pin out, and then we got two 14 millimeters on the bracket. And then also we need to remove this little guy right here. So tools, hammer, wire brush. We got the light, come on, light. We got needle nose, 14 millimeter wrench, 17 millimeter wrench, brake compress. We got some grease, and you're gonna need some parts cleaner and some towels. So we're gonna start off by removing this little guy right here. So this is the port where you're gonna adjust your e-brake from. So make sure you rot the rotor also correct if you're removing that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out the 17 millimeter first, which is right here. So counterclockwise, going down on this side, and this baby was pretty loose. Okay. So the caliper looks good. The brakes inside are pretty much shot. I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to mount this camera anywhere, but the brakes are done. So we're just taking off this 17 millimeter over here. So turn, turn, turn. And I just pop it out of the housing because I am gonna grease this little guy. So it's probably not gonna come out. There you go, it came out. So there we have it. I'm gonna put that to the side. We're gonna lift up this caliper, and this caliper is gonna slide outward. Let me just come up here so you guys can see it from right here. So it's gonna slide out. The slider is gonna just slide out of there. Usually these calipers, if you got a Toyota Camry or Lexus, usually Lexus got this one, this will be kind of jammed up. Okay, so we're gonna leave this over here. We're gonna go back. Okay, we're gonna go back in there. So we got two 14 millimeters back there that we need to remove. Let's come out with our light over here, and that's good for the camera right there. So 14 millimeter right here, we're going down on it. Oh yeah, that baby. Okay, there's one over here. Let's loosen that up too. There you go, perfect. You know what, today will be power tools. So I'm using a power tool now with the socket, same size, 14 millimeter. I'll make my life a little easy. And one over here. So once both of these are out, 1, 2, your bracket here is gonna be able to come out just like that. See that? Bracket comes right out with the brake pads. So let me get my light. We're gonna prep this guy right now. So the brake pads, remember this little clip here is in the bottom. We're also gonna take this hardware on the same thing here. The little clip is in the bottom, so pay attention to those your clips where they are. I'm gonna put these brake pads to the side. Wire brush, very important that you clean where your brake pad are gonna sit. Okay, just wire brush them real quick. Same thing on the other side. If you want to get new ones, if you got aftermarket parts, they probably come with a new one. So I'm gonna just gently clean this side and this side. So the bracket is prepped. We'll still gotta grease the bracket. So over here we got a lot of corrosion here. So this kind of rotor is not gonna be easy to take out. You see we got a lot of corrosion here. Okay, our handy dandy hammer should do the job. Few hits. I don't want this caliper falling. Whoa. There you go. Also make sure you don't have your parking brake on. If you got your parking brakes on, pretty much you got your parking brake holding this guy. Okay. kind of holding on. So I don't want to break the parking brake. I like to kind of go gentle on it. I'm gonna go back in. Vibration. We'll do the trick. Sometimes you gotta adjust it a bit. Sometimes even spinning would work on this. Okay, going back to spot. Ooh, I'm gonna get this baby out. I might gonna adjust it a bit. We don't have the parking brake because it's spinning freely. It just, brake might be just too tight on this side. All right, I'll get that off. We're gonna just kind of turn it inside, and I'm gonna have to be in there closer with the light. So if you come across something like this, your adjuster is all the way down here, so we don't know which way is going to be tightening and loosening. So I'm going to assume turning like that, okay, turning like that might be tightening. So I'm going to try to, yeah, it might be going too hard on it. I'm going to go the other way. So we're going to have to kind of, I'm using another light here so you can just like see inside there. Okay, so see that it's pretty free now. It should come out now. Okay, there you go. So pretty much your parking brake will kind of grab onto this little guy. So if your rotor doesn't come out, you're gonna have to look through that little tiny hole, and what you're gonna see is a little adjuster that looks something like that. Where is it? See that little turning knob right there? That little guy. Okay, so you just turn that and your rotor will come out. Okay, so now we're gonna have to adjust it back, but I'm gonna do that with my new rotors. So I want to clean this. So we still need to clean, since we added, I did this on the other side. I did it, the other side rotor came out, but adjustment was just kind of a little trouble. So we're still not done here. We need to clean this hub. Same thing like in the other front I showed you guys. I did the same thing on the other side. So the key here is, if your rotor is sitting on a rust belt and it's more rusty than here, pretty much your brakes are gonna shake. It's gonna be like having bad pads and rotors all over. So why not clean it? Okay, it doesn't have to be shiny, as long as there's no built up of rust. Okay, plus this helps for the rotor to sit proper, one, and then two, it will help rotor from getting stuck to the hub. And also remember, wheel can get stuck there too. So that's that. What we're gonna do is like a reverse procedure right now. So once you throw a brake cleaner on it, it's gonna kind of clean up immediately. So I'm gonna start greasing this immediately too. Small amount, light amount of greasing. You don't want to do too much either, because if it's too much, you don't want to like smudge on it. You know, I'm just putting, and it's gonna compress. It's gonna just push everything out of the way. Okay. Like I said in the front, if you got that special anti-seize, that's even better. If you have anti-seize, it's like a silver looking stuff. So I'm gonna come over here. We're gonna clean the water and continue the job. So we're on to the water. I'm gonna put these brake pads here. I'm gonna have to get a rag. So it's very important that you clean the rotors. Reason is because rotor will have some type of built up, not built, I'm sorry, I'm not saying built, it's a brand new rotor. They usually put oil on it so it doesn't kind of corrode over time. But if you buy original parts, they're not gonna have the oil on it, because original parts, they only make enough so it doesn't sit around. So we're gonna clean this, and then we got a clean rag. Okay, here's a parts cleaner all around, inside too, okay, because the inside is gonna ride on the parking brake shoes. So I'm gonna give it another touch. Even though this doesn't have anything, I like to clean no matter what. I don't care. if they have some kind of silver coating, some road even aftermarket, they will have some kind of silver coating. That I don't clean because that has to stay there. But anyway, it's time for us to go this onto the hub. So we're onto the hub here. So this little slot here where the rubber boot was at, that's where we unadjusted from. So make sure that is onto one of the holes. So it's gonna align, it's on the opposite side of this stud here. So it's not gonna work there. It will work on this one here. So you have to follow that procedure, okay? So remember, our rotors are just 2 free there. So let me get a screwdriver. So you don't want to do too much either. So what I want to do here is I want to go down on it. So you can always take it out and do a couple of clicks. Okay. Don't forget, it's got to go on the same hole. I'm an idiot for being too quick putting my light behind back in there. So what I want to do is, I needed that light. I don't know why I put that back in there. So I want to find the adjuster. It's right there. You don't want to do too much either, because you will jam up the brake and they will heat up and lock up on the customer, especially when they're on the highway. And there's no way you could test drive to confirm that, because it takes time. So these brakes should stop after a half a turn. That's where I want them at. So I would say I'm an idiot again, because I should have known which way I did. I think I did that way to make it easy, and not the harder way. That's way too free. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna take this off. Yeah, I think I'm going the wrong way. Yep. Let's see what that does for me. Okay. If your brakes went smooth for you, so remember, this is exactly at like 6 o'clock. Oh, that feels good. I might just do one more click. So just going upward that way. It might be opposite for the other side. Oh, that's way too much. That's way too much. Sometimes less is better, and you can always adjust it more if the customer doesn't feel their parking brakes to be too good. Okay, we're gonna leave it there. Perfect. Okay, give me a moment. Time for us to put the bracket in. So again, same thing, reverse procedure. Let me get my bracket. Has two 14mm bolts, which are gonna go here and here, but they go through the spindle hub, whatever you want to call it. That's one. So I'm gonna put them in with the power tool, then I'm gonna hand tighten them. Hand tighten is gonna take me longer to do so. So that's one. And that's two. Perfect. So I want to clean this rotor a little bit because I touched it here. It has greasing here, right over here. Perfect. Okay, so our next step here is to get the brake pads in. So remember, we're gonna just come over here. We still need to put a few things. So we got two brake pads. We got 2 old brake pads. Remember, this was in the bottom, these little retainers. 1, 2. The little pin kind of does come out, so if they don't, usually I would say get a new one, but dealer will not give you everything. So you're gonna have to kind of fix them up, kind of push them in. It's just a tiny bit so it can grab onto the water. This one came out too far, so I'm gonna just push it back in, just like that. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take out this. So there's 2 shields here. Okay. Come on, what the hell? That's 1. So this is original part, so this is original hardware here. So what I like to do is put a little bit of tiny amount of greasing here in back of it. Both of these, they're oval from one side, just like the brake pad. This goes on just like that. And since this brake pad is gonna sit like that, so we're gonna put this in the bottom. It's gonna go this way, not that way, okay? Not the rounded part facing inside the brake pad. It's gonna touch your rotor immediately and cause all kinds of scrapes. So make sure, whoop, 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 you get it the right way. So just give yourself some time. So that little notch is gonna get caught into that little triangle looking notch down there. Okay, so here goes nothing. That's 1, this is done, this brake pad is done. Let's get this guy out. Okay, remember this got a little bit of greasing there too, that can stay there. So this is the secret here, okay, for the dealer. If you're buying new hardware and you're doing brake pad, even aftermarket stuff, you could grease underneath there, okay? You don't have to do it outside, okay? So this is oval again. Yep, this way it goes. If your pad, these notches are too free, you could just bend these little notches in so it can grab better, just like that. It should snap right in. And again, this is brake pad is going to be on the inner side, so we will put this in the bottom here, same way. You don't want that rounded side facing this way, because that will go and hit your rotor immediately. And make sure this is sitting down flush, so I don't have this all the way in. Oh, it came right out. So it might be the little notches. Okay, no, the notch looks good. It's just gonna take a little bit of force, which I don't have due to injuries and stuff. So there you go, perfect. Do not touch the front part of the brake pad. It does have a white coating, that's a braking procedure stuff. So I did a video just on that. Why is that coating there? There's a reason. You have to break in the brake pads. So meaning take your car for a drive, 10 to 15 minutes, drive the car, come to not a complete stop, come to from 15 miles per hour to 5 miles per hour. Just let the brake pads rub on the rotor. Take off again, do the same thing, 15 to 5 miles per hour. Stop, go, stop. So that's what you're gonna be doing. So anyways, time for us to come over here. Okay, so time to put the brake pads in. I like to put a little bit of greasing here on the brake pad, a little bit here, little bit here, little bit here. Okay. Little bit here, little bit here. Okay, put the greasing back. So that goes in just like that. Remember that little retainer is in the bottom on that one. Same thing on this one. There you go. Brake pads should be free like that. If you're jamming them in, that's no good, okay? So I'm gonna do a few more things, okay? First of all, let's compress the piston here, okay? We're gonna compress the piston right now, okay? So the caliper needs to be compressed in on the caliper. So this is a Lexus ES300, 2003 to 7 is the same procedure. Pretty much they're all the same thing if it's a single piston right there. So that goes in nice and smooth. Okay, and what we're gonna do now is we are gonna grease this slider here, okay? This is also a slider here, okay? Grease this little guy and put some greasing, light amount onto this. A lot of people say don't do it, but this works well for me. I had no issue. So this thing goes in here just like that. Make sure it goes up and over the boot. Okay, and then it goes in, so it's flush like that. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is, it's pretty much we're at the final steps here. So this goes in just like that. Make sure that boot is caught onto that. And I'm gonna just let the phone ring for a little bit. I want to put a little bit of greasing here because there's a rust and built up, but really need to, but a little bit here too. Okay, this goes in. And oh, camera, so you're gonna have to kind of get this in. Something is off. I think the slider didn't go all the way in. This should go in, but I'm gonna have to move this out of the way. Okay, so there you go, perfect. So from down here, let's come down here. Okay, the slider here, we're gonna have to push this out. So it's gotta go in together. So make sure this boot is in there. So over time, this thing will kind of become clumsy. Okay, there you have it. So it's not going with it. So the greasing is kind of messing me up here. So if I didn't have grease, okay, try not to put the grease, guys. I would tell you guys to kind of ignore that part. I just want my job to be kind of solid. Okay, there you got caught the. Okay, where's my 14mm? Oh, it didn't catch the threads. We don't want to do that. We gotta catch the threads no matter what. There you go. The threads are not caught. You might cross thread it, then you're gonna need a whole new caliper, because they're not gonna sell you that alone, and you're not gonna be able to fix it. So make sure the caliper line is also straight. It's not curled up. So this job is kind of bada bing, bada boom. We still got one more thing left. So make sure this is nice and tight. What's left is us feeling these brake pads. Perfect. I like it. And do not forget this little guy, because water will get in there. And so, and don't push it too hard, because this will go in there. That has happened to me using a screwdriver. I had to remove the whole thing to get that out of there. Okay. Hi, good morning. Okay, we got that in. You see I'm working on car? Look. You want to be a mechanic? New brakes here. All right, bye. All right, so we had a little guy out there. He's about 2 years old, 1 year old, 2 years old. He always want to come and look at me doing mechanic work. So thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. See you guys on the next video. Bye bye. So do go once you're done with all the brakes. I did them all. Make sure you pump your brake pedal several times. Once your wheels, everything is on, the cars are back on the ground, because the calipers are gonna retract back. If you start it up like that, your car's not gonna stop if you put it to drive or forward. You're not gonna have any brakes. So pump the brakes, give it a time, and then go out for a drive and do the braking procedure. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like.